Okay, well, good afternoon, all. We want to thank you for joining us here today. I'm your host, John D. with the Hode Group, and on behalf of Edward Don and the Hode Group, we're so excited to have you here and having some real discussions and sharing some solutions with the number one company in the green disposable packaging space, Eco Products. And at Eco Products, green is all we do. So our goal today is to share with you as an operator, customer, culinary professional, really how to elevate your disposables program in the age of COVID. And more packaging, and more packaging doesn't really have to mean more waste, and how to make your to-go menu look better without hurting the environment. So we've got a couple of experts joining us here today from Eco Products. We're joined by Midwest Divisional Sales Manager Mary Beth DeGosta and Southeast Divisional Manager Ken Frazier of Eco Products. Ken and Mary Beth, thank you so much for being with us today.
Absolutely.
So excited, looking forward to this. So I want to thank you both for joining us, obviously, and bringing your expertise to the table. So I'd like to turn your, actually a couple of housekeeping issues that we want to address before we get really started into the program. We're going to ask that you hold your questions for all of us, of course, our presenters, until the end. Your microphones will all be muted. And at the end of the program, we're going to run about 35, 40 minutes. And at that point, we'll open up for Q&A for the remainder of the time available. So to get right into this, we certainly want to turn your attention. We're going to show you a quick company video overview of Eco Products, which we hope will give you a better feel for Eco Products and what value they bring to the street in our industry. So let's watch it right here.
Eco Products is a leading brand of environmentally friendly food service packaging. Everything we make comes with real environmental benefits. But lots of companies make green products. What makes us so special? Eco Products is more than just a packaging company. We're a true sustainability partner. We're mission-driven. We only make products with renewable resources or post-consumer recycled content. The term zero waste is literally in our mission and vision statements. We're B Corp certified, which is third-party validation that our green cred is for real. We have the broadest bundle of green packaging available. For operators who are composting, it's crucial they use only compostables. That way, customers can throw everything into one bin, the compost bin, along with food scraps. That's just one of the reasons having 400 items and counting matters to customers. We love customization. From custom prints to custom products, we help operators find the right solution and tell their sustainability story. With the lowest minimums available, our custom offerings are industry leading. We are advocates for zero waste. If we want to change the fact that the U.S. sends more food to landfills than any other type of material, we need change to happen at a big scale. That's why Eco Products is a member of multiple industry organizations pushing for change. We offer marketing and sustainability services at no extra charge. Want a custom poster or table tent? How about a custom carbon footprint report? By offering marketing and sustainability services at no additional charge, we help our customers meaningfully incorporate green into their brands. When it comes to sustainable packaging, Eco Products can confidently say, "We got this," in a way no other packaging company can. Let us be your partner. Still have questions? Send us an email.
Wow, such a great company. And yes, they do. They've got this. And we've helped many, many, many customers over the years. So proud to represent a great company like Eco Products and such an awesome brand in our industry. You know, cutting edge packaging and services, you know, while making a difference in our environment and our world. And I can't thank them enough for their mission statement and what they do every day. So, okay, Ken and Mary Beth, let's dive right in. Let's get to some of the tough questions, so to speak. So, Mary Beth, let's start with you. Given our current environment, you know, traffic is down amongst our restaurateurs. Some states are still restricted, keeping dining out of in-house. demand for more home meal delivery, issues with third-party delivery services, operators being squeezed and trying to survive in this environment. With that being said, I'm sure many operators here today are asking the question, or have had to put their sustainability on hold due to pricing and price. So, Mary Beth, do you still have an option for them?
Yes, absolutely. Thanks so much, John. We most certainly do. So that ties into another part of what I wanted to talk about. If you're not composting, or if you're not really completing that sustainability mission right now, are there benefits to this? So we certainly understand what a tough climate it is in our industry right now. We understand that everybody's feeling this. So we certainly have empathy there. But we do feel that a step in the right direction with sustainability is another great way to message to your customers what you're doing with your packaging. So,
well, what benefits really of your products? What are your benefits really? If someone's not composting, what should they be looking at for product wise from you?
Yeah, definitely. So there's a number of different ways or a number of different levels of products that you can use. You can start off with clamshells, or you can start off with something that has a lot, that's a little bit better suited for full to-go meals. We have everything kind of, as they say, from soup to nuts, right? You've got your clamshell assortment, your worldview assortment, as well as a full catering line. As far as the benefits to our products, if you're not composting, you really want to focus on the fact that the products are made from renewable resources, and not necessarily what they're not made from, right? So what are traditional disposables made from? They're made from either their virgin resources like petroleum, or virgin or paper, which is of course made from trees.
Okay. So try to, I think one of the questions that an operator may be sitting here, if they're new to green compostable packaging or green packaging in particular, can you just give a quick download of what's compostable, biodegradable? Everybody's got this word biodegradable. Let's eliminate that, and recyclable. How about a quick down and dirty on that?
Okay, well, again, thank you for this opportunity. And folks, we're here to, we would like to think we can solve all of your problems, but I think we can help you address really the needs of the market today. And again, in this new climate, like John was saying and Mary Beth, what can we do that we feel we can still make a difference? And, with like what John was saying here, and John, again, the question is,
the question is, let's put a little bit, we can't expect that everybody here that's attending or listening understands the difference between compostable, biodegradable, because that's a word that's always thrown out there, guys, as well as recyclable. And there's a lot of myths and misconceptions regarding this. So let's tackle that.
And those are the 3 points. I just want to make sure I had the recycle part in there too, because Eco Products does encourage recyclability. That is very important. But who we are and what we are is mainly based on our commitment to compostability. Biodegradability is a very broad brush. We hear it used a lot in industries. A lot of companies have it in their third line descriptions of product that it's biodegradable. Well, everything in essence is biodegradable. You are, this chair I'm sitting on, the signage behind me made of cloth will eventually break down. So everything will biodegrade, but where we focus and steer the ship here and are trying to steer the industry is how quickly can we make that happen? What resources and industry resources are made available to you and are growing in market to accept compostable products? Because the bottom line is we keep adding more and more product to the landfill. And especially with COVID right now, and there's been such a pendulum shift in the direction of foams and plastics because of accessibility, because of cost. It just made it easy to do that, but we're adding more and more and more waste to a waste stream that is already extremely challenged. So, compostability has everything to do with what Mary Beth was saying. Where did it come from? They're renewable resources. Yes, they may go to landfill, but their environmental harm and or impacts are so much less on the front side. How they were extracted from the earth, the processes of making them in factories, the fact that people have to work around these very complex polymers and so forth, and how they impact our food, how they impact the groundwater, all of those things are impacted by plastics and foam. Again, complex polymers, where our products are really very simple. It's plant fibers or it's plant starches that are made into things that can degrade in a landfill is not composting. A landfill is a tomb full of waste. So in there, we are entombed as well as everybody else. However, what you're putting in there is so much less harmful to the environment on the front side and on the back side as would be the foams and the plastic. So I hope that kind of relates here. There's three aspects here. And on the recycling side, which is challenging, again, we support it and we want to support it because, again, it's diverting products from going to the landfill. And if we have an opportunity, and that's the key word, opportunity, to possibly recycle and repurpose those items into, whether it's a park bench, whether it's the material in a tablecloth or the clothing we wear, that's an opportunity for those plastic items to be remade into something else useful once again, which means it doesn't go to the landfill. So those things are crucial. The problem with that system is that it is a municipal by municipal demand and how it moves and how it's sold, how it's marketed. So again, that's individually by your market that you live in. But overall, it's still a very important goal for us to move in that direction.
Correct. And the 3 R's again are reuse, recycle, repurpose, correct? That's the best thing we can offer as advice.
Reduce, reuse, and recycle.
Reduce, reuse, and recycle. There you go. Go. Thank you for correcting me. So Ken,
hey John, can I jump in real quick?
Absolutely.
On a quick recycling piece, I heard a catchphrase recently that really resonated with me that I wanted to share. Growing up, and I know over the past probably 30 years, we've all heard reduce, reuse, recycle, right? That's what you just said. So I think that we got so caught up on recycling, right? And the viability of recycling, and that's something that we can do. I think that reducing and reusing totally fell by the wayside, right? So I think that eco products really falls into that reducing the amount of virgin resources and more precious resources that we're using, because recycling, as Ken was saying, isn't always a viable option. We have a great recycled content line of products, and that could be a great fit for a lot of our operators, but it doesn't necessarily mean that those products are recyclable.
Right. Isn't it, at the end of the day, for an operator listening, isn't it about what kind of message they're trying to send to their customer base, their patrons? What do they stand for? There's a big push for farm to table now, organic food. I mean, this is the type of packaging that would fall right in and play as a great play within that whole realm, would it not?
If I can interject here, exactly. Today, I see so many requests for samples, and folks always, and I enjoy this, and I encourage any of you out there as end users, share your website. When you are looking at moving into these realms, it really helps us to see what you're doing, because it right away helps us to realize that you are trying to marry your menu. If you're using local grown produce, if you're using antibiotic free, chicken and meats, grass fed, and all of that. And, you're really trying to sustain your local farmers. And, those things marry so well with your packaging, and they should. And again, we're going to talk some more about, marrying that packaging. But again, if your mission statement, if your goal is to go in this direction, in spite of where we are today in this current climate, it's still very important to find your way onto that path again, because if your mission statement says one thing and you're doing another,
Correct.
a lot of your patrons are going to wonder, oh, they're saying one thing but doing another. So again, we'll talk a little bit more about that down the road here.
Well, Ken, you wanted to jump in, Mary Beth?
Yeah, John, that goes back exactly to that first question that you were asking me. If you're elevating your food and you have fewer touch points with your customers during all of this, and you really have that one touch point when you're sending that bag out the door, it makes sense to bring that elevated packaging and that elevated presentation along with your elevated food menu.
And I think it's challenging today to try to do that, Mary Beth, and if you would agree with me, by trying to keeping the food and appearance elevated versus just using a tired foam or plastic container, I don't think sends the right message. So, everybody, all my operators today, they're all big into visibility. They put a lot of time and effort in making sure that they plate their food and make their food with the utmost care and professionalism. And then just to throw it into a foam container or something that just doesn't play well and create a better customer experience, I don't understand it sometimes. We understand we understand price is important. We get that. But again, I've consulted with a lot of operators that they need to really consider, and I'm sure we've all done this, you really need to pass that packaging on to the customer. And I know it's not easy, but at the end of the day, people would pay for better packaging. We've all experienced this in the age of COVID with the amount of meals that we've had delivered to our homes. There's horrible packaging out there that does not hold up. So, Ken, let me ask you, how does your packaging hold up with home meal delivery? Can you give us some examples of some great ideas on home meal replacement packaging that a lot of these operators are trying to serve that market that would fare well during transit time for our third-party delivery services?
Well, I have to say, those hands that were just showing that folia container with the sandwich and cookie on top, that's an excellent example of our folia line, which again, anything made of natural fiber, and again, I hope everyone's listening to this because it's important, fiber products that we are making, like that folia container you just saw, or a clamshell, or some of our Worldview lines, any of those items can be warmed up again in a microwave or in, a limited oven availability type of an atmosphere. You can bake these things back in an oven if you have something hot in there that you want to reconstitute. That is not something you can do with foam. And the beauty of also fiber product is they allow for the product to breathe. And I think all of you end users know when something comes hot off the grill, those fries are put in there, even the chicken wings, when you put that in a foam container, a lot of times by the time that quality of food you're sending out gets to the end, to your patron's home, oftentimes it's soggy and it's just not very palatable. Right. The beauty of these containers is they allow for that moisture and excess moisture to release from the container, and you end up having crispier fries, better tasting wings, and again, you have your patrons have the ability of reconstituting that food at home in a microwave, or at least in an oven. Oh, look at those wings! There you go, beautiful.
Isn't Nick's doing an outstanding job?
Yes.
Showing us our plated food in our containers. Way to go, Nick.
Yeah. And this is an example of our half pan series. We make this half pan. And it has a fiber lid that folds over the top of it. Or if you don't want to use this lid, folks, you can use just a great ordinary aluminum foil crimped down on the sides lid. Our half pans were made in order to do that. So if you wanted to put something for more intense transport, that is something you can purchase on your own. Through your Don Rep, and that will work on there as well. So as a package, that's a great way for family style dining, for a catering type event. And again, here's another type of an example here, one of our salad bowls that has a PLA. This is an entirely compostable offering that you have. Again, the fiber bowls are made extremely well. A lot of gram weight is put into the sides and base. So not only for salads, this is great for pasta. This is great for gravy type items. And again, these containers are ovenable and microwavable with the lid off, of course. But again, a great option for you and great packaging. And again, because of the high need to make your food items visible, so people
Yes.
see with their eyes, they buy with their eyes, they will remember through their eyes what they just saw in front of them there.
So Mary Beth, go ahead, because I got another question as a follow-up to that one for you, Mary Beth, but go ahead.
And I saw that. So you read, whomever just asked that question, you were reading my mind. We just launched a lined version of these half pans. So we had heard your cries. We had gotten the feedback that they needed to have a little bit more moisture resistance. So we launched a 2.0 version. It's a heavier gauge of sugarcane. It's in a natural bagasse. So it's that darker shade for differentiation. So it's lined with PLA, so still very much compostable. But these things are absolute tanks. So the line version comes in the same sizes, and it also has a tongue and groove fit. So if you're carrying heavier foods with a little bit more moisture content, that lid's gonna lock on there really nicely. So that's tongue and groove, they lock into place, lined, heavier gauge of sugar cane.
Well, I don't know if you saw it, but Nick was really trying to work that seating of the lid, that PLA lid on top of that the salad bowl. You could see how heavy duty and locked on that was. Yeah, we never get any complaints about that at all. You know, Ken, when you and I started working together almost 7 years ago now, and we ascertained a couple of large accounts, you don't look a day over 7 years ago, Ken, you look great. But anyway, I'll never forget one of my first, working with an operator that was in a healthcare facility, that the first thing that I got complaints when they switched everything from foam to our fiber-based sugarcane clamshells was they thought that after putting food in there that they were leaking. And one of the things that we learned quickly is how porous they are. And when the heat transfers from the actual fiberboard and sits on a cold platform or something cooler than the actual heat of the food, it condensates, and everybody thought it leaks. So again, folks, these do not leak. They stand up. A lot of people like the soak proof. I don't know why they go with the soak proof. As Ken calls it, and Mary Beth, it's insurance. But again, we're encouraging you to take these, sample them, test them. You're going to hear us keep saying that throughout the rest of the presentation. So Mary Beth, I have a follow-up question for you. How does your pricing and the performance compare right now with other disposables like aluminum and foam? Let's go right into that.
Yep, definitely. So let's start with the pricing part, get that one out of the way. If you're comparing to like foam, did you just say foam and aluminum?
Foam and aluminum, the two most common substrates right now other than
Definitely.
paper. Right.
Yeah. So, and those are the two toughest substrates to compare to as far as price goes. So foam, as we all know, it's down and dirty. It's cheap, cheap, cheap. And aluminum, it's going to be a pretty inexpensive option compared to what we're doing. So on the flip side of that, right? So we're going to be probably 2 to 3 times more expensive than foam. It's probably in line there on aluminum. When you get that out of the way, if you're comparing to plastic, if you're comparing to paper or other fiber products, we're pretty in line, or really not far out of line. So, and then looking at what you get in the box along with that product, you've got everything that we talked about in the video, those marketing services, as the hand to hold on your sustainability journey. So there's quite a bit more in that box along with that slightly higher price.
You know, I think it really comes down to what the operator in the operation or the culinary group's trying to achieve. Listen, guys, we all know it's about marketing today. Okay. How do you differentiate yourself as an operator? You've got to attract customers to your space and to your brand and to your food. It's all going to be based on the whole customer experience. You should look at something. If you're going to move down this road in green disposable packaging, take advantage of an eco product where they offer you, whether it's 1 case or 100 cases, they're offering you the marketing support and services you need. Perhaps some additional social media content, website assistance with perhaps content for your website. If you're large enough, perhaps they may have an interest in helping do a video for you to help promote your brand across the national platform. Eco Products is looking to partner with operators out there that want to promote green, sustainable, and compostable packaging. And they're the best at it. And I know I'm a bit biased, but I'm in the industry every day with these guys. We roll up our sleeves and we get it done. Ken, I have another question for you. We talked about durability earlier, and you mentioned microwavability of the product. What about refrigeration, freezing? Tell us a little bit about the durability or that in the packaging.
Yeah, and again, that varies. And again, like anything, it depends on menu items. Most fiber products are a refrigeration type of an atmosphere. Short term is fine. If you're going to go long term, it's more questionable. It depends on moisture content of what's inside the container, because a refrigeration type of an atmosphere is a moist atmosphere. A freezer application is really, because it's below zero, you're getting into a lack of moisture that is building up inside that compartment. So again, what I always recommend to anyone who is looking at, if you're looking at as an end user, all you operators listening here, if you're looking at a longer term, several days or whatever, that you want to keep product, we are more than happy to send you sleeves of product that you will try and test to see how they perform for you. Because, there's so many variations out there. We do not have a department that can try and test every single type of menu or atmosphere on every single piece. So our strong recommendation here is for any of you that are interested in product, we have no problem sending it, no charge, directly to you, a sleeve of product, lids, bases, whatever you might need, so that you can try your menu items and make sure they're going to perform for the best results for you and for your patrons that are buying that product.
Absolutely. I'm watching our time right now. Go ahead, Mary Beth. You want to jump in?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was going to say, by all means, share those test results with us. We can almost do so much testing on an individual basis. I can only try baking things in those half pans so many times. They live with one other person. But please share exactly what those results are, what the limits are. Test those limits and let us know how you feel.
So where I was going with this was I was going to try to segue into the depth and breadth of our SKUs and our products available. Edward Don has one of the largest, robust inventory of our products in their local warehouses throughout the country. It's such an amazing portfolio of availability within several of our different categories. Many times operators will ask me, I'm trying to put a bundle together. They're not sure what they want to do. The first thing I do for them is send them a worldview kit. If they're going to do some large format catering, I send them our Regalia servingware kit. The folks, the bottom line is, we want you to identify what you think is going to work for your bundle. And once we find out what's going to work for your bundle, then we'll send you sleeves to test, as Ken and Mary Beth both said. So we have no problem, like our worldview kit. Nick, I don't know if you can put up one of our samples of our Edward Don stocking sheet that's available from our core bundle, which is basically a basic operator starting kit, to our advanced packaging within our worldview lines and some of our higher end packaging that's available. So right now, folks, this is a perfect example. Here is your Florida stocking sheet. So at the end of our presentation today, we're going to send you out a replay of this recording, plus all of the content and some of the POSs that you're seeing here. You just need to go to your region of choice and find out what Don has available in their warehouse. Mary Beth and Ken were kind enough to get these updated to us very quickly, so you can see all of what's available to you to round out your packaging bundle. Edward Don does a phenomenal job with this, and we're very proud. And again, in some cases, you can get this from 1 time a week to 3 times a week, depending on where you're at and depending on what's going on with your Edward Don local distribution center and where we are with COVID today. But we have everything to fulfill your bundle. We've got all sorts of packaging. Nick, if you can continue to scroll up, we're going to get probably into our worldview packaging here in a minute, which is a great, great bundle. So, Mary Beth, if I'm looking to do maybe some family catering, or I want maybe a good bundle to fit in a bag, where would you tell an operator to start with to get started? What would you say to that operator? Maybe they got 6 or 7 units and they're trying to build a consistent packaging bundle, where would you
Yeah,
guide them right now?
definitely. So the Worldview line, I think, is a great place to start. It's going to have a pretty similar look, but it has a huge variety of shapes and sizes. And a large, several sizes within a run of one specific shape of item, right? So if you're looking for a bowl, we have 24, 32, 40, 46, right? So you can have all of those. You can do the rectangular containers, then a 12 to 16 ounce, 24, 32, and then the largest size in a 10 by 7. So if you want that bundle to look cohesive, that's a wonderful place to start.
Okay, Nick, are you able to show that right now on the catalog so they've got a point of reference on that? And if you could pull that up, I can keep moving and ask Ken another question here. Ken, these operators out here right now are listening. They're saying, okay, I like it. Can you help me get started in something like this? Are you able to help these folks start a composting or recycling program? Where can we help them jump in based on their needs? Before you answer that question, folks, this is the Worldview line. Look at the breadth and depth of these SKUs. Eco is absolutely the #1 brand in the industry when it comes to this packaging. It's phenomenal. It is going to meet all of your needs. There's sizes, shapes, and different substrates to help you out, whether it's cold food, hot food, microwavability, and it's got it all there. And if you're really looking for a great bundle to put in a family to go packaging, this is a great product line to stick with and use. And it even comes in a larger format, which Nick showed you from our chicken wings with the half pan sizes as well. So, Ken, with that being said, I want to start composting. I want to start a program. I want to recycle. Can you help me?
Yeah, we actually have in our format. Again, I always like to tell people we're just not making green stuff. We actually are really part of, and we feel a major, manufacturer that is looking for industry change. And the only way we can bring that direction is by directly getting involved state by state, region by region, with legislators, with legislation. And as you know, there are bans. Prior to COVID, there were all types of bag bans and foam bans and plastic bans. And, you name it, there was a ban that was developing for it. And of course, COVID put a kind of the brakes on that to some degree, because again, being sensitive to operators and what they were going through, what did you want to make most important at that time? But now, as time is going on, we're seeing the shift moving back in the sustainability direction. So, we have resources of what we call our operator specialists. These are regional people that we have around the country that are directly tied through ahead of our sustainability in Boulder and eco products, that knows what's going on in market by market, region by region, who can tell you who is available in your area and not. The difficulty with composting is it is a cottage industry that is growing exponentially. Even now, it's still growing in this climate that we're in. Landfills are filling up. Alternatives have to be found to send food material, and that's probably the biggest catalyst here to have composting, because when people think of composting, you're all thinking, because we're here, you're thinking about eco products. But the biggest reason for composting is doing something about all the food waste. So where there's composting, where they're accepting food waste, to remove the food waste, the most deadly thing that really does get put into the landfill because of its methane gas creation and all of that, that marries now to packaging. That's where our company and all the others that are making compostable, certified, BPI or an ASTM standardized products can marry to those products and go there. So there, and again, like all packaging like ours says, there may not be composting in your area, but that's why you can come to us and we have the resource to tell you if there is, who it is, and connecting you to that. We'd work directly with composters and what are called haulers. They're the person that gets the product from your facility to that composting facility. Right now, Waste Management does not manage compostable products. They're the big Mac daddies of picking up garbage. They're your waste haulers. Most of them do not and are not involved in the composting process. There are others that are growing in the industry that are connecting the dot from A to B, and we can tell you who they are and connect you with them to see if there's in any way they can get your facility connected to them. So hopefully that helps.
And Ken, we've got a lot of operators that have joined us today and people that are participating in our presentation today, and they reside from far out west, and we've got some from the Northeast, as well as we've got them here in the South. And we are challenged in the South. Obviously, the price of real estate in Florida is extreme, but we have been wanting to get more composting available in Florida to complete our cycle here and to really bring our zero waste full steam ahead. So there have been some challenges, but we also know, Ken, based on what you said, there are some foam bans still in place along our coastlines here in the Southeast. Is that correct?
Yes, there are. And again, I just want to say, it's not just, most people think that, oh, everyone in California, those crazy tree huggers in California, or those urban New York City people, you know, it's all there. I see it throughout my region in the Southeast, we have tons, not tons, I shouldn't use that term, it's too broad, but we have multiple composting facilities in the Carolinas, opening in Georgia, and even there, and some of them now are working their way into Florida, because the Miami market, especially the Orlando market, the Tampa markets, where you have big urban centers, the cry is for a solution. And in those urban areas, those landfills are quickly filling up, and they're not able to license opening any more of them. So they've
Correct.
got to begin waste diversions. And again, the food product is the biggest thing that needs to stop going to a landfill. So we're seeing a shift in the industry, and it is a job creator. And we're seeing that movement all over the country.
Yes, good. We got time for maybe just a couple more questions before we move into the Q&A. Mary Beth, I want to ask you a question. So here it comes. Age of COVID, in COVID times, is this going to shut down our sustainability and composting efforts?
Is using compostable packaging going to?
No, I mean, is COVID going to extinguish this? I believe there's still a demand for this. And are you guys seeing this from a company or corporate perspective? The demand is still there for the product. You are selling and
Yes.
getting people installed in major operations across the country right now.
Absolutely.
There's still a need for eco, correct?
Of course, John. Thank you for clarifying. Yes,
No, that's okay.
There is still a need to be moving in this direction. We are still seeing legislation move in our direction. I work exclusively in the Midwest, and I live just outside of Boulder, Colorado. So I understand
Nice.
it's a very, very diverse issue. I don't necessarily work with operations in the area that I live at. I work exclusively in the Midwest. So specifically in Chicago, we are seeing the need for composting being pushed forward. That is absolutely full steam ahead. And Jamie, our operator specialist in the Midwest, who on the heels of the question that Ken answered earlier, those operator specialists that can help you close the loop, help you divert that waste from the landfill. She is actively engaged in pushing composting infrastructure forward. We're still seeing this as an absolute need. In Minneapolis, another large market that I work in, there's a compostable packaging mandate. You need to be using products that are either recyclable or compostable. So just because we're in this highly unfortunate and incredibly frustrating pandemic does not mean that the needs of the planet are any different than they were before this started.
And thank you for that. And I didn't mean to confuse you on the question, but
Okay.
I think it was very, very important that we mention that, because everybody thinks that this thing is just going to go away. It's not going to go away. We're just taking perhaps, and I hate to use the word pause, a bit of a pause right now while we're trying to get people back into consume again. And once the consumption stops, the need for what we do is not going to stop. So
absolutely. And it's a good opportunity to take a look at your packaging assortment. If you didn't have this, if you didn't have a packaging initiative before, or that cohesive bundle that elevates your product as it goes out the door, you do now.
So speaking about a cohesive bundle, and let's talk about branding and marketing, is EcoProducts still offering today customization options for those operators that want to brand and make sure that their presence is made aware?
We are, yes. So in the catalog, Nick, if you don't mind pulling that page up, thank you very much. So we have over 75 SKUs that are available for custom printing and embossing. So those are off the rack custom print options. So either printing on a cold cup, printing on a hot cup, embossing or debossing a clamshell, or embossing a lid. If you meet the right requirements, which is generally 500,000 pieces or larger, we do have the option of creating a custom container. So right now we're focusing more on the custom printing and embossing, just because we know that moving things through that custom project pipeline is a little bit more difficult given the current climate that we're in.
Okay, great. Okay, I think we're just about 20 minutes to the hour. And what I'd like to do right now is would like to open up to see if we have any questions from our participants out there. And we'll run until there's no more questions. And at that point, we'll call it a day. So let's see here. I think we had a question from Mike Hale. Are those lined to help us with liquids? I believe you answered that, Mary Beth. Let's see, we have one from Yarabel, Edward Don. How does it work when it's international in regards to the composting process of the items? Ken, you want to take that one?
Yeah, a lot of the islands, Yarabel, as you probably know, and maybe some of the end users that are on here, a lot of the ministries in these countries are banning, again, you have pristine beaches, you have beautiful resorts, and the issue of ocean plastics was very elevated prior to COVID. It's still elevated today. It has not gone away. So the bans are really legislated more. What I'm finding is there's not a lot of composting going on the islands. However, that's not stopping the need to stop the use of foam and plastics, because so much of that does get lost into the streams, rivers, and carried out into the oceans, whether it's directly from the island that is using that product, or from areas of our country and other places, or, as we were seeing from the cruise lines for a while, dumping stuff overboard, into the ocean. So again, composting is again no different than it is here, Yarabel. It is, it's municipality by municipality, state by state, and in your case, especially when you're dealing with these beautiful resorts and these beautiful islands in the Caribbean, it's by island. They all want to work toward a solution, but it's not stopping them from banning product in order to make sure that the clientele coming there understands that they really do care. And I think that's really become the forefront of that, example, is banning it.
Yeah, unfortunately. Mary Beth, we have a question from Benjamin Brady. He's asking, do you have PFAS-free packaging? Would you like to tackle that one?
Absolutely. The short answer is yes. The longer answer, we have two different sides to that. There's if you haven't already been made aware of the issue, there's fluorine in packaging has been kind of a hot button issue since probably the last year and a half or so. Biodegradable Products Institute, or BPI, came out with a new threshold for fluorine, the acceptable levels of fluorine in fiber packaging. And that acceptable amount is under 100 parts per million. So yes, we have items where fluorine isn't even part of the question. Those are our hot cups, our soup cups, our cold cups. But we also have a line of no added fluorine items called our Vanguard line, and those meet the updated BPI threshold of less than 100 parts per million. So it's an abbreviated version of our sugarcane line. We're still gauging demand for it. We're producing according to demand. We're seeing certain areas like Minnesota, this is a pretty hot button issue. We're seeing more response to it in some areas than others. We're still waiting for composters to respond with what their acceptable what they will accept in their compost piles. So this is, yes, we absolutely have the product available. If you're interested in no added fluorine items, we will gladly ship you samples. And just contact your Hode Group rep or your eco rep to further the conversation, because there is a lot to discuss there.
And if I could throw in on this discussion as well, you know, with the fluorines, you know, the PFAS, you know, these products that we have and have always been, they are FDA approved. They are approved by the FDA for food contact. But with the fear of PFAS, you know, because everyone's products might vary a little bit, there is again, to explain, there's two types. There's a long chain and a short chain. The short chain is what we are involved in with our product. It helps to bind, it helps to give grease resistance and cut resistance to the products, whether it's a plate or it's a clamshell. And they are FDA approved. So what Mary Beth was saying, though, is BPI leaning on the side of an industry shift here to move away from them no matter what, whether they're short or long. That's where the industry is going. And we are one of the only companies that have actual BPI certified. The Vanguard line is BPI certified to meet those demands if you have people wanting to go in that direction at this point. You could not shift an entire line of products overnight. So we are slowly but surely hitting all the core items first and then expanding out from there.
And Ken, thank you, because Benjamin said thank you. So you obviously, and Mary Beth answered his question. So thank you. We had a run for comment here I want to share with everybody that from Yarabel. Ken, you all are the best. I love your products. Thank you, Ken. And Lisette Landestoy asked if she could get the email sell sheet from Edward Don and all the information presented. Of course, again, I want to remind you will all receive the replay of this presentation, as well as all the supporting references, POSs, and sell sheets available through Edward Don. Absolutely. So, and yes, Lisette, we do reach the Caribbean. We hate to not send Ken down there. He's not been going down there lately, but he loves going down there. So anyway, we appreciate that. Before we close, any other questions from anyone out in our folks in attendance? Anybody else got anything? It's almost 10 minutes to the hour. Okay, so, and Lisette mentioned that we have Yarabel from Don. So there you go. There you go. You're in good hands, Lisette. Good hands. Well, again, folks, I think we're going to wrap this up. If you have any further questions, please, you can reach out to us at productfocus@hodegroup.com. You can reach out, of course, first and foremost to your Edward Don representative that invited you. We are so proud to work with Edward Don, so proud to offer and represent eco products with that distributor group. They, again, have one of the most robust portfolios in their warehouses of eco products stocked amongst any other distributor, we believe. And we believe also that everything that you would need if you're looking for green sustainable packaging or a combination thereof can be found at Edward Don. So we're hoping for a couple of things. One, we can answer any questions. If we haven't for you, please reach out to one of us and we can hopefully answer those questions. And two, please sample anything you'd like and we can, again, get those right out to you. So we appreciate everybody's time, patience, attendance, and interest today. I want to thank Ken and Mary Beth for hosting a wonderful, wonderful product focus today on eco products. So thank you, guys.
Thank you, John.
And
Thank you.
folks, you all stay safe out there. Have a wonderful week. We're here to help you. Please be on the lookout for more HGI Edward Don product focuses coming soon to you online. So pay attention. We'll see you soon. Have a great week, and thanks, everybody.